Here I am coming live. Can we talk with BP? Coming live talking about the things that's really going on in Fayetteville, Tennessee. They took the main port out of Fayetteville, which is Goodman, Dyken, or either Amana. Then you got people talking about they got the t-shirts on, talking about how many years they worked. But how many years has the fairground actually been there? I know over 30 years. But they don't care about us as a people. We need to stand up and be counted for. Let our voice be heard. Don't talk about it now. Since Goodman, Dykeman, or Man is gone, we should have stood up and talked about it before they left. The fairground don't mean anything to us. Our kids can go anywhere to have an amusement, have a good time. But what about now when there's no money coming in? True enough, they gave people a little bit of money or money for the time that they worked there. But how long is that money going to last? What about the people who got new cars, who just purchased homes, who got kids in college? What's going to happen when they can't continue to pay for that? These parents are worried to death. I mean, they worried. They act like they're not. How long is unemployment or whatever they're getting going to last? Think about it. We're in dire need. Crime rate is going to go up. Drug sales are going to go up. Breaking and entering is going to go up. People are going to go to Walmart and all these local stores and start stealing more. Just because we couldn't get that little 4 or 5 acres at the fairground. I really don't know the true situation, but listen to this. The police department built a new police station across the street from the post office. What good was that? The light company built a whole new building. What good was that? What can we do with the police station or what the light department built? What about the taxes that they say, quote unquote, that the fairground owed for the last 30 years? What about the hospital that's about to close? What about the taxes that they said that they were going to raise? Or what about the money that they said when the lottery came in to Fayetteville? How much money that they were going to raise and how much money they were going to give for the schools, or they were borrowing money for this. Like they say, Peter paid Paul to keep the hospital open, the wheel taxes. We're the only county in Tennessee that $100+ for your tags when you can go to Chevyville and pay $30, $40 for your tags. Winchester is probably less. Then you have this fee that they give you on your light bill for transportation to get the electricity to Fayetteville, or the gas mileage that the people have to go to run and read your meters and all of this, that, and the third. But what happened when they put these new meters up that's supposed to be, they can read them from the satellite or whatever it was that they did. They changed meters in everybody's homes. That was supposed to cut costs. Then you read in the newspaper where they were giving bonuses to the employees or certain employees at the uh, federal public utilities. When certain people didn't get it, they squealed or whatever you want to call it, snitched or whatever you want to call it. Then you got the little thing that went on with Kent Buchanan, where he worked there for so long, or was it there? Or that might have been something else with the housing authority. But still, it all boils down to politics. Like Fayetteville's motto is, where tradition meets tomorrow. To us, they think we don't understand what that means, but to some of us, we really do know what it means. That means there is no change. The same thing they did year before last, they're going to do this year. They're not going to change. We need to open our eyes, stick together, and come to be a people. Stop letting them run over us. Stop letting us do us any way they want to. We had two murders in Lincoln County Jail. They covered them up. It's not only a black person, it was also a white person from Petersburg. They called him Tiger. Then you have Bernard Hawk. Then you see no tapes being shown. When they say they got 90 something cameras in the jail, so I'm quite sure that it's been recorded because everywhere in the jail there's a camera. But then is it a blind spot? Hello? Is it a blind spot? Where these things are being taken, where they're treating these people like this? Then you got I call it I'll be good chair, where they say you can only stay in the chair at an hour at a time and they're supposed to take you out. But then I hear that people are staying in that chair hours and hours and hours. They treat you any way they want to. Now, don't get me wrong. They treated me fair down there. They even allowed me to have a program down there. Me and Linda Buchanan called Scared Straight. We had it 3 or 4 years running. It was a good thing. They gave us a tour of the jail, or they gave the kids a tour of the jail. That was good. I love that. And I wish we could continue to do that. But Fayetteville has in-house policy, should I say. What goes on in-house, stay in-house. They don't want it to get out. They don't want no one to know what's happening. But we as a people need to stand up. Don't only talk about Goodman now once Goodman is gone, what we should have did or what we could have did. Because it's affecting us now. What's going to happen to our grandkids and our kids that can't find a job? Just saying. You take Frito-Lay. You take Frankie's. You take the little plastic packaging place or whatever the name of the place is. Trilogy, Toledo's, McDonald's, and places like that. Popeyes itself made more money when it opened up than any restaurant in the history of Fayetteville, all because of a sandwich. But now what's happening now is bigger than a sandwich. We allow this fair to come in here every year and leave with the money. And then the good old boys sit back and enjoy their millions of dollars that they make every year. That's why they didn't want to give up the grounds down at the fairground. Now, listen to this. We have people with property that a man could have bought, but is the septic tanks or the sewage right? Is the water right? Is everything right up to code like the fairground was? You had to have specs and everything, expected, inspected and everything where it would pass government and federal guidelines or whatever we may have, when it was right next door to Goodman, that everything could have fell right in line. But no, the good old boy was not going to lose their money. Why come the fair couldn't have found someone else's land to have the fair come in every year? They have over 700 people that lost their jobs, their livelihood. These people may lose their homes, their cars. Then you had multiple people that walked to work, that ride shared. People got in cars and ride to work that was only 2 or 3 minutes away. And then you had the governor say the people who worked at Goodman didn't live in Fayetteville. You know he was wrong for that. But what are you going to say? Are we scared to speak up and speak out? Then people sit up here and say, why are you speaking? Because I have family that work there. I have friends that work there that are going to be stressed out. No telling right now how many people may take their lives because they can't live up to the way they used to live. Some people have got to the point where they ate steak, now they're going to have to eat bologna. You have people who didn't shop at Save-A-Lot who worked at Goodman's. They rather go to Walmart because they had a standard that they live by. Now they don't want to be seen going to Save-A-Lot, getting a pick five, when their steaks turned to bologna. People in Fayetteville need to stand up and speak up. Crime, the crime rate is going to jump. The drug sales are going to jump. Now they even built a new part on the jail. The jail may held 1,000 people. Now they build a new part that they can hold 2,000 people. When they wasn't even holding the 1,000 that they had. Then they turned around and went in there and took where state inmates can't be held in that facility anymore. So those beds in that part that they built was non and void. They don't even need it now. So what are they going to do about that? Then you got the police chief riding around here with $100 and something thousand vehicle. Do he patrol the area? Or do he just go home and go to meetings and come back? Do you think he need $100 and something thousand vehicle for that? Then you look around, they got more police cars, city and county cars, than police officer that they have. They got more cars than police. Come on now. These are things that we need to think about. Then they got all of these buildings that they're building up right now. Like, for example, the electric company. Another prime example, the new police station that they built across the street from the post office. What are they doing in there that they couldn't do in the old one? Then we as black people, where do we have to go? We don't have no clubs. We don't have no stores. We don't have no businesses. We don't have anything. But then we sit back and talk about each other, disrespect each other when we need to stand up for each other. If we stop spending money, hit them where it hurts, they'll think different about us. But how can we think different about each other when we're the one who really treating each other wrong? Jealousy, envy, and strife is going to hold us down. A black man get a business or a black woman get a business, the first thing we say, I'm not going to buy her no new Cadillac. I'm not going to buy her no new house. But then McDonald's and Burger King on Huntsville Highway are multi-million-dollar businesses, and we still go out there and contribute to them when we can't even help our own people. Then we have kids committing suicides in school. When I know up north, they make kids wear uniforms. They cannot wear shirts with designer logos on them, or sneakers like Jordans or anything like that. They have to have plain white shoes. Sneakers, as we call them down here, shoes up north. And then they have to have a plain, solid uniform. No one can come up there with Gucci, Armani, and all these other name brand clothes. They have to wear the same thing. So can't nobody talk about each other. But we don't care about that. We live in a society, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you have it, you got it. If you don't, you don't have it. They got bars around our projects to keep us in house. And then we talk about Trump wanting to build a wall. Don't you know there's two reasons to build a wall? One is to keep people out. One is to keep people from coming in. I believe the later. We're trying to stop people from getting out. Think about what I'm saying. Good night. Can we talk with BP?